Hello, geometry! So here's the video about equilateral and isosceles triangles. Everything you ever wanted to know. All right, so we know that isosceles triangles have two congruent sides. And because of that, it has all kinds of special properties that go with it. So over here we have an isosceles triangle. Notice the markings here. So the two sides that are congruent, we call those the legs. And down here, we would call this the base of the triangle. And the vertex that falls between the two legs actually gets the special name of the vertex of your isosceles. It's almost like capital V, I should really say. Yes, you have three vertices, but only one of them gets the vertex name. And that's the one that has the vertex angle, which is between the two legs. And then at the base of each of these legs is what we call the base angles, because those are going to have some special properties we're going to be looking at. And they are always sort of, opposite, the congruent side opposite it. All right, so let's get right into it. Here is our base angle theorem. So you have two theorems side by side. It's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So the base angle theorem says that if you have an isosceles triangle, the base angles are congruent. So we're just going to say base angles are congruent in an isosceles triangle. And this is going to be a very used theorem. So angle B is congruent to angle C here. The converse, so we actually then call that the converse of the base angles theorem, starts with if you have a triangle and there are two angles that are congruent, you don't have to say that it's isosceles, but you are allowed to conclude that the opposite sides are congruent. So given a triangle with two congruent angles, it's just de facto, those are going to be your base angles, the sides opposite those angles are congruent. All right, so the base angle theorem, you're starting with an isosceles triangle, you know the base angles are congruent. The converse, you start with a triangle with two angles congruent, and therefore the opposite sides are congruent. At no point do you actually have to say that you have an isosceles triangle. Now we have a corollary to the base angles theorem. I'm not quite sure why they want to do this, but I guess it makes sense. So again, these next two are sort of which came first, the chicken or the egg. So this first one, since the base angles theorem started with the congruent sides, this one starts with congruent sides. So if a triangle is equilateral, so in other words, not just two equal sides, but three equal sides, then what do you think? It is equiangular as well. And so how does that look? So if you start with three congruent sides, then that means you know all these angles are going to be congruent. The converse now is going to be, think about what the converse is. You're going to switch that statement we just said. If a triangle is now equiangular, then it is also equilateral. And it's basically the same diagram. It's just a matter of which one comes first. So the converse one on both of these always starts with the angle, concludes with the side. The base angles theorem and the corollary to the base angle starts with the sides and moves to the angles. Now a little review here. Write these two corollaries as a biconditional. And so remember, that's where you cut out the if and the then, and you put an if and only if in the middle. So we can say a triangle is equilateral if and only if it is equiangular. All right, that's just putting the two of those together. All right, so now what we're going to do is use some information here. So this helps if you have like some colored pencils. I'm going to try and do it in a color-coded way and determine from this diagram what we can conclude. So our first piece of information says that NJ, which is right here, equals NM, which is over here. So we have that equal to that. So ignore LN and KN for a minute, and you just look at the big triangle. What can we conclude? Well, that's isosceles, so we know that angle J is going to be congruent to angle M. All right, so we're looking all the way across to find the opposite angles. Now we have LM, so I'll do this one in pink, is congruent to LN. That's over here. So now we have this little sideways isosceles triangle. So that tells me that angle M is going to be congruent. Now I can't say angle N because that would be ambiguous. We have a lot of lines coming off of N. So I have to use three letters. So angle LNM. So remember, the vertex is in the middle, that middle letter. Now we're going to move to our angles. Okay, so we have NKM, that is right here, is congruent to NMK. And so now what do we know? Well, so now we're going to use the converse of our isosceles or base angles theorem. I always called it the converse of the isosceles triangle theorem, but it's fine. So opposite, the side opposite M within that triangle. So we're looking at, this triangle right here, right? And so the opposite to that, oh, I lost my green, that was weird, is going to be KN. So segment KN is going to be congruent to segment MN. Okay, and now we have one more. Let me see, I'm running out of colors, people. All right, we're going to kind of do this yellowish orange or pumpkin spice. There we go, for the fortune cookie. LJN. So LJN is right here. Put three dots there. LNJ is right here. Okay, so that's going to give me, looking for the opposite sides, LN is congruent to LJ. Voila. All right, I hope that made sense. Just, you really do want to kind of highlight or somehow outline what you're looking at. So that last triangle was right here. So I hope that made sense. Okay, now let's do a couple examples, and this is actually going to be kind of a short note, and then we'll be done. Find the value of the variables. So notice we have our congruent base angles, and it is a right triangle, so it's an isosceles right triangle. So I can set my opposite sides, 3 times x plus 2 equal to 24. I know all of you are going to go and distribute, but haha, I'm actually going to divide by 3 first. So x plus 2 equals 8, therefore x equals 6. I guess some people don't know what my 2 little lines mean, so I'll get rid of them. That usually means I'm done. Okay, next one. Let's see, we got 12, 12. So, 12, it's all equilateral. So remember, equilateral means it's equiangular. So equilateral equals equiangular. And since all the sum of the angles is 180 divided by 3, we know each one of these angles is 60 degrees. So we take 2x, we set it equal to 60, and we find that x is 30. Okay? Okay, now we come down here. Oh, I like this one. All right, so I'm going to mark some stuff up. So I find my congruent angles. That means this is going to be congruent to this. And I know these are all going to be 60 because it's equiangular. And that means it's also equilateral, which means we know that y will be 4. And I know I can mark this side 4 because all 3 sides of that triangle are congruent. And now I have 4 equals x plus 1 because in this triangle, those 2 sides are congruent. So x is a lovely 3. Okay, and our last one to do, I want a different color. All right, so this one we have, okay, so here we have our equilateral, equiangular, which makes it equilateral because those are all marked as congruent. And I have this is 20 and I have this is 20 because these two are marked as congruent. So that means I have 5y equals 20. So we know y is going to be 4. And then to find x, well, I have that this angle up here is 60, so I know that this has to be 120 because you have a linear pair right here. And 120 is the vertex angle of your isosceles triangle. So you're going to be doing this a lot, so I'm going to pull it out because I really want to make sure you understand what's going on here, but I lost my pen. All right, so we've got here that this is 20, this is 20, this is 120, and we're trying to find x, knowing both of those will be the same. So you'll have 180 minus 120. That gives me 60 degrees. So these two have to add up to 60. So we divide by 2 because they're the same. And we know that x is now 30. You're going to do that little process a lot anytime you get a vertex angle in an isosceles triangle. And that was it for the notes. I hope it all made sense.